Guys, we have breaking news. The CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, has been hacked on his own platform. And in a minute, we're going to tell you why this story is very important for cryptocurrency and decentralization. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, your one-stop shop for crypto and Bitcoin news. Don't forget to smash the like button. Do it right now while you're thinking about it. And also make sure to hit the subscribe button if you are not already a subscriber. So here we go, guys. We are going to look at Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, getting hacked today. And we're going to tell you why it's important to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Now, before we get into this, I do want to say that there is going to be some things on some tweets that we're going to look at that are not family friendly. Now, this is highly unusual for my channel. Everything we do here is pretty much very family friendly, but there was some very ugly stuff put out on Twitter, and we're going to show you the uncensored version because the hack is over and you can't find these tweets anymore, and I think it's important to tell the whole story here. So let's start here. This was a screenshot done by Famobi on crypto Twitter, where he actually put the pinned message from Jack. It says, "We're committing Twitter to help increase the collective health, openness, and civility of public conversation and to hold ourselves publicly accountable towards progress." The irony of that tweet, based upon what we're going to be looking at that the hacker posted on his account, is not lost on anyone. So, I think a lot of the things that were said are really the exact opposite of this stuff. We are going to be looking at some stuff that will certainly be considered controversial, certainly be considered racist. But like I said, I want to give the full information here. So, okay, let's start by looking at some of the screenshots. So this is from Shahrukh Qureshi on Twitter. I thought this was very funny what he put, kind of mimicking what Twitter does when they send you a message when you've been hacked. "We noticed a recent login from your account, Jack. If this was you, great. If this wasn't you, your account may have been compromised and you should take a few steps to make sure your account is secure. To start, reset your password." Now, I wonder if Jack Dorsey found out he had been hacked on Twitter. That's hilarious. But that's probably what happened. So like I said, we're going to look at some of these screenshots on some stuff that was said. It's very ugly, so please keep that in mind. So here we are. We have some tweets here. It says, "Corey done the job. Aqua up in this biznatch. Chuckling squad, get it trending for the Twitter password. Plug walking to bed. Intel is there's a bomb at Twitter headquarters." Obviously, this was a threat to Twitter, and we're going to talk about why those threats are very important here in just a minute. Nazi Germany did nothing wrong. I'm not even going to touch that next one. If I go to jail, I'll still be chuckling. Follow me, I'm Jack's daddy. Get it trending, boy. This guy's going to be in a lot of trouble, I can tell you that much. James Charles got some nice booty. Shout out to Ron and Kyle. Follow Tay Taylor or Tay Lover on Twitter. Headquarters is blowing up. F, whatever that says. I don't like to use bad language myself. So anyways, this is kind of an example of some of the stuff that was posted on this account. Now, there are some other things that basically show that this guy was someone that the hacker had gotten his account suspended. I'll put the tweet up that shows the screenshot of what he said. It basically said, "Unsuspend me." Now, this is where decentralization in cryptocurrency comes in and why it's so important. Because the fact is, centralization leads to problems. What problems does it lead to? Yes, hacking is one part of the problem. Yes, you can get hacked on a centralized platform. With decentralized platform, your information is stored in a different way. Like for instance, on Steemit, the founders of Steemit couldn't get your personal information the way that Mark Zuckerberg could on Facebook. He has the control to pull up anybody who's on there's personal information. And on a decentralized platform, that is just not the case. Now, I want to go back to the threat where he talked about blowing up Twitter headquarters. And this is really the problem with the platforms we have on the internet today and what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and decentralization is trying to do to solve these problems. Do you guys remember the YouTube shooter? This was a few years ago. She had her content on YouTube demonetized without warning and without explanation. Now, you're taking people whose lives are depending upon making money on certain platforms, and you are ripping that away from them without explanation and without warning. And the ambiguous terms of services on these websites and on these social media platforms allow these companies to be able to do this at any given point. Now, I personally have a lot of experience with this. I used to run a ticket company. I actually just closed it down. I ran it for 8 years. I did millions of dollars worth of transactions on my website. And most of my transactions were through advertising I had done on Craigslist. One day, Craigslist changed the terms of service completely changed my entire business model overnight, and my income literally dropped 90% overnight. And it was a very dark time for me because all of a sudden I felt like everything I had worked for had been ripped away from me without warning and overnight. And there was no way to overcome it. And my income went down every single year from it. And eventually I had to close it down very recently because it was no longer worth the time to me anymore. But I was making a lot of money back in the day with this website that I had. So I understand the power of centralization and what weight that can put on someone. So when you have a platform like Twitter that is constantly suspending people without explanation, without warning, that is closing people's accounts, and yet at the same time, you can look in other places of Twitter and find people doing the exact same stuff they're accusing you of, except 10 times worse, and they're not getting banned. We see it with the political bias of Twitter, which is very obvious with certain accounts that they banned and other ones they allow to go on that do the same stuff. This is the weakness of centralization. This is where decentralization comes in. Decentralized platforms where peers can reward each other instead of having to depend on one entity to allow you to feed your children. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that this guy who hacked Jack is depending on Twitter for his livelihood. Now, he may have been. I don't know that for sure, but it doesn't seem likely that that was the case. This is probably a 17-year-old kid who said something controversial and got his Twitter, account hacked. That's not the important thing I want you guys to take away from this. What I wanted you to take away from this is that this is a very dangerous system. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of these platforms, TikTok even, people are starting to do advertising there. It's Craigslist, YouTube, Google, all of these companies are wanting to take away people's livelihoods and they're not caring about it. And we know this because they do it every day. The YouTube shooter went up to YouTube. Lucky for them, she was a bad shot. And that's not a joke. That's a dead serious thing. No pun intended on that part. But she literally went up there to kill people. And she was a bad shot. And the people at YouTube got very lucky. Now, I'm certainly not saying that someone needs to go try to do a threat towards any of these companies. I'm not advocating for that. But these are the problems of centralization. This is where Bitcoin and cryptocurrency comes into play and provides solutions, but they're hard solutions. It's not easy. These decentralized platforms don't have the following that some of these other ones that we know have. But there was a time where Facebook didn't have a following. There was a time when Twitter was about to close down because it had problems building user base and trying to create money for themselves to keep the business going. Vine, we saw Vine just kind of shoot up and disappear out of nowhere. So the point is that we need decentralized options. We need people building. We need people using these decentralized options. And I implore you to look for some because these are the problems that come along with centralization. This is what Bitcoin is trying to solve. People ask me, why are you into Bitcoin? Why are you into cryptocurrency? It's because of stuff just like this. We have to fight back against the centralized platforms. We're giving them too much power. And when they're messing with people's lives, they could be putting other people in danger. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead, smash the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. BitBoy out.